Hey guys, I'm Ken from OK Portugal, and today I'm going to be taking you on a full walking tour of Quinta de Santo António, a beautiful rural estate right here in Central Portugal. This property covers around 9 hectares. It's just over 23 acres of space, of stunning meadows, gorgeous woodland and plenty of water sources. There are 2 granite stone houses on the estate offering loads of possibilities for the new owners. The first is a charming 3-bedroom stone house with a footprint of 144 square meters. It's full of character and it's full of history. The second is another granite stone building. It's set a little further away on its own separate piece of land. This gorgeous estate sits just outside a historic cobbled village called Mesquitela in the Viseu district of Central Portugal. For your everyday needs, the towns of Fornos de Algodres and Celo Rico de Beira are only about 10 to 15 minutes away. And here you're going to find shops, cafes and plenty of amenities. And when the summer heats up, you can cool off at a stunning river beach called Ponta de Juncais, and it's only a 5-minute drive away from the property. The closest cities are Gouveia, which is about 20 minutes away, and Guarda, which is about 30 minutes away. Now, both of these offer everything that you could possibly need, plus they have excellent transport connections to the rest of Portugal. And if you're planning to travel further, Lisbon and its international airport are roughly a 3-hour drive away. Porto and its international airport are about 2 hours away, and Faro and its airport down south in the Algarve takes around 5 hours to get there. So stick with me as we explore Quinta de Santo António and discover all the potential that this stunning estate has to offer right here in Central Portugal. The entrance to the property is by this dirt track. It's in very good condition. It's a very short track that leads onto the main tarmac. We have a stunning granite stone wall. Look at the size of these huge granite stones. And then we have the metal gates and a big sign saying Quinta de Santo António. So it's an impressive entrance to the property. The owners are actually in the process of installing an electric gate opening system, which will be installed shortly. And now let's start the tour. We can see we have a driveway with these huge eucalyptus trees that you go straight through. It's really pretty. Obviously the electric gates haven't been installed just yet. And we can see here we've got all the electrics and everything ready to go for that electric opening system. So I'm going to show you on a map exactly where we are right now at the front entrance of the property. And we're going to make our way down this beautiful driveway that takes us to the main house. We're surrounded by some oak trees, some stone oaks. We obviously have these huge eucalyptus trees with absolutely enormous trunks, and it's really pretty. A lovely smell of pine, a lovely smell of just fresh herbs. Now, if you're interested in buying this property, have a look in the video description below. I'm going to put the seller's contact details. I'm also going to put a link to the property listing. I'm not an estate agent. I don't sell properties. I only make video tours like this for people to see. This is definitely going to be a really amazing tour, and I know you're going to want to stick around to see everything that this beautiful piece of land has to offer. It's 9.2 hectares, so 23 acres. There is just so much that I'm going to have to pack into this video, so strap yourself in. I'm loving all of these oak trees just popping up everywhere. There's an enormous amount of oaks, all different varieties, and obviously there's pine dotted in there, and obviously we saw at the entrance there were a couple of huge eucalyptus. But so far it is just the most stunning place to be. Look at these little meadows through here, and lots and lots of shade, lots of these big granite rocks popping up absolutely everywhere. It's an absolutely gorgeous place. And as we go around the corner here, we're going to start to see one of the 2 houses. Look at that. Very pretty indeed. And before we get to the house and the incredible views, wait till you see those. I just want to show you the area around the house. So we've got some nice big trees here. We've got lots of space for parking. And this is actually a track that extends from the driveway all the way down and round and into the front fields and things. So you can actually drive your cars around. Lots of parking. The areas where it hasn't been mowed, we've got beautiful meadow and lots of oak trees. So pretty, and what a lovely day to be doing this with the blue skies and the fluffy clouds. And just look at this driveway coming through here. That's where we've come from. And I'll just spin you around here. We can see we've got lovely granite stone boulders, some children's swings. Imagine growing up here as a kid. And then again, the first of the 2 houses. So the houses are registered. This one has habitation, it has mains electricity, it has a soakaway sewage system, it's got excellent 4G internet connectivity. There's also a great possibility for solar, there's great possibility for Starlink internet and things like that if you need an even better internet connection. Let's go inside and have a look. The house has been restored really nicely. Look at the roof, fantastic condition, all painted up. We've got aluminium shutters, we've got aluminium windows with double glazing units inside for insulation. This lovely porch patio space here, and also made in granite. And we can see they've repointed all of the granite stones of the building. So it looks really good. All the stones have been cleaned and repointed. They've also restored these things. So this is like the mural. It says Santo Antonio. This is the Saint Antonio that this farm is named after. And you'll see that these have been restored. So the old ones that actually came with the property were all broken. There's one over here, one by the front entrance, and also one on the very front of the property. It's a really nice porch. I like what they've done. They've restored all of the wood out here. And from the front door, you just have these magnificent views. You're not seeing anyone else. It's all nice and private. Have a look at the front door. It's beautiful, dark wood. We've got this big old knocker over there. Let's open this up and have a look. This is the hallway, and we've got some pine floors that have been restored, and we can see through into the building itself, and we also have some nice high ceilings. And let's start on the left hand side here. So we go through to what I believe is the master bedroom, and look at these big windows. Look at all the granite stones. I think we're going to start on the left here, and again we've got another big window, and this window box, you can see all of the granite stones exposed. And let me just show you a little bit more of that stonework. It's absolutely beautiful. And then we have the render on top of that. And then obviously we have the windows. Let's just give you a little view out there, looking out over the driveway space and where the cars park. It's so nice and quiet here. All you can hear are insects, birds, bees. It's beautiful. On the side here we have the old, almost like a little wash basin setup here. All of the furniture and everything is included, and there's some beautiful antique pieces here. So look at this old dresser here, absolutely amazing. And let's go through to this side and have a look out the window. So you've got two windows in this room, giving you stretching views. And it's just gorgeous. So quite a big room. These are two singles. Obviously you could have a super king bed over here. You've got plenty of space, nice high ceilings, and those two windows that are going to give you a really nice draft going through the building. So back in the hallway here, we can see in this corner there's actually space for a wood burning stove. Apparently there was an old one there. They are trying to find another one that they can put there. So they're looking out for a new one that they can put, like a round vertical one. And that'll be a nice way of keeping it all warm here in the cooler months. And let's go through this room next. This is another bedroom number 2. And we can see, again, we've got one of these beautiful window boxes, all in granite stone. I think we go there first. This is going to give you a glimpse of the incredible views that we have now from this property. And these views are stretching all the way down through the valley, and they actually stretch all the way out to the second house that we're going to be looking to down in that direction. Actually, sorry, the second house is up in that direction. So the land extends all the way down there. This is a huge bit, 9.2 hectares. And standing in the window box, looking back, we've got another lovely bit of furniture here. I love all this old antique stuff. And let's go through this doorway here, back into the hallway, and now we're back into another hallway space. The floor over here is made out of terracotta tiles, beautiful old terracotta tiles. And let's go to the left. This is another bedroom. This is quite a big bedroom as well. All of the bedrooms so far have had double beds in them. I'd say this is the second largest room. And we've got the window just on this side here. Let me go through to this corner and give you guys a look out on this side here. So this is this side of the property. And excuse our car parked over there. But normally you wouldn't see anything. It's obviously all open. And just look at these views. And looking back into the bedroom, more really awesome furniture. Look at this big wardrobe. And we can see a little glimpse of the living room. We've got all of these old books and vinyls and records and all sorts of stuff. This over here is the bathroom. And they've put in new sanitary ware. So they've put in new toilet, bidet and sink. And actually, these are quite nice tiles. A lot of times you go to these old houses and some of the tiles are really loud and really crazy. But these tiles are actually really nice. I quite like them in this bathroom. And there's space for a toilet and a bidet. We've got the bath on this side over here. This is a full-size bath. And then it also has a place where you can put the shower head. And it also has a rail here so you can put a shower curtain. Actually, there is a shower curtain just over here. And then it also has a little heater so you can warm up the bathroom while you're having a shower. It's all quite nice, all quite civilized. And then we go through to the living space. Look at this. So we've got like an arch. We've got another arch just on this side over here. I really like this house. It's got nice big thick walls. It feels very open. It's got a nice open plan feel about it. Lots of windows, lots of space. This is the diner. I would say this is more like the living room area. Let's start on this side over here. So the original owner of this property was a lawyer, and so these are all old law books apparently. And over here we have some windows. Look at this like desk. This is beautiful. Old sewing machine over here. It's an old Singer, wow. And then we've got some really big windows. Now these windows will open, and they will also open this way, I believe. Yeah. Oh wait, I need to do it on that side. And then look at that. You can open them right up. And imagine if you do that on both sides, and you just got an amazing amount of air coming through the property. But look at that, and this is the driveway where we arrived. And then just looking back through to that side. Standing in the corner of the room, this is where we came through. We have a fireplace over here, a nice open fireplace. We can see we've got plenty of floor space here for putting like sofas and turning this into a living room. And then let's go through to the diner here. A really big dining table. You can see all of the space in this room, the diner and the dresser. You know, this is a full-size house for a family. And we've got some more of these big opening windows. I mean, I just can't resist just showing you out these. So, I mean, these are the views that you get here. This is a very big open expanse. And this property is really, really nice and private. And then from the windows, let's go through into the kitchen itself. And we can see, obviously, this is an old country house kitchen. I actually quite like these cabinets. I love the design on there. We've got a space for double sinks. We've got a little gas cooker over here. And we've got some very cute old like dressers and storage things. This is where the gas boiler is. Obviously, this is a very basic gas boiler. It does hot water for the kitchen sink over here. It also does it for the shower and the bathroom. And the gas bottles for that are all piped through into a little pantry space, which is just over there. I'm standing in the corner of the kitchen by the sink, just looking back at the space of the kitchen. Now, the kitchen is obviously a little bit on the small side, but this kitchen can also be opened up. So this wall could be knocked down and you could have more of an open plan feeling leading into this dining room area. I think quite a lot could be done here to sort of improve this space. But having said that, this is actually a very cute little country kitchen. And there's also the potential to expand it out in that direction because there is a pantry space. And if we open up this little fly net over here, we've got a pantry. Now, the pantry is just through this door over here. And unfortunately, I don't have the key right now. But let me just explain to you what this pantry looks like. So you come through the kitchen, you're into this little pantry space here. Let me just pull back here so you can see the size of the room. You can see the footprint of the room. It's got shelves and cupboards and stuff inside. And in the very corner on that side, it has a gas bottle that feeds the gas boiler of the property and the oven. And we can see as well, it has a really nice little roof on it. And yeah, it's next to the kitchen. So potentially you could open up the kitchen into the pantry space, or you could open up the kitchen into the dining room space and make it a lot bigger. And I quite like this view from the kitchen door and from the pantry, just looking back out over where we've just come from. And I want to point out the sellers were showing me these beautiful old stone, like little picnic tables and things like that. There's a couple of them dotted all around the property. Look at these ones over here. Old big granite slabs, all covered in moss and lichen. Absolutely beautiful. So we've just come from the kitchen over there. We're going to go around the house, back to the front porch and off the side. And it gives us another sneak peek of this whole porch area and how it connects with the rest of the land. Earlier on I showed you the kiddie swings. I think you can see them a little bit better on this side. We have, as I said earlier, we have gutters and we also have drains going all the way around here. So, you know, when it does rain, all of the water is going to move around quite well. And just look at this beautiful meadow and these trees. And I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but listen to the sounds of the crickets and the birds. It's very special, and properties like this really excite me because I could so picture myself living here and moving into a house like this and owning a big, open, beautiful piece of land like this. So we've walked from the porch of the house down to this area. We're looking at the side of the house now, and we can see it has a big garage door over here which we're about to enter. They've put on these gutters. The gutters are also in this nice accent green. It's all very good looking. Again, we have the drains for the gutters going through here, so nothing's going back into the property. Let's open up these big doors and have a look inside this big garage space. Now before we go in, these doors actually do all open up, so you can obviously drive bigger things in here. You can put your car in here, your tractor in here. But yeah, a nice big open space. Look at this. And again, it's just full of old sort of relics and furniture. They've actually done a lot of cleaning and clearing out, and they've just left some of these beautiful pieces behind. But look at this space. I'm not sure, this looks like it was some kind of a saddle or something. Or it could have been something that goes over an animal. I'm not sure, someone can maybe let me know in the comments. And this piece over here, look at this. This is like a water wheel that I believe is from one of the wells. Standing in the corner looking back, we can see it's a really nice big space. Make a perfect workshop, a place to put your tractor, a place to put your tools. And it's lovely. And look at these big, big beams. And there's plenty of headroom between me and the beams. I'm not having to duck down or anything like that. It's a nice space. All right. Wow, that's gorgeous. Okay, so from here, I'm going to take you through. I think we're going to see this next. This is the old sort of laundry area, and it's next to a well that feeds the house with water. And it's made out of beautiful old granite slabs. Look how straight they are. And this is the area on the side here. So they would fill this up with water. They would put all of their laundry in here, and they would use this as a scrubbing stone to scrub all of the old sheets and everything. It's just amazing. I love these old things. And just next to it is the well. So the well is underneath this big slab here, and it's in the ground, and it's all covered up now. But before, it would have this old wheel over here, and it would have had the other wheel that we found inside there, and some kind of a bucket system that would bring the water up, and it would dump the water into this channel, and then it would flow into this, and that's how they got the water through. But yeah, it is lovely when you have all of these old original features like this that are still left on a property. And just above us here, we can see these are the António. So that's the like the name of the house, or the Quinta de Santo António, and we have a picture of the saint. And again, these are the ones that were all fully restored. The side of the house here was all full of render, and they peeled all of that back off so that you can see these beautiful stones, and I think they've done a really good job of that. It's all been pointed up beautifully, and this whole house looks fantastic. So we're going to walk along the outside of the building here, and just around the corner is another space for storage. It also gives us another little peek at what the house looks like from the outside. This has obviously still got all of its render on. It looks really pretty with the shutters, and we can see some of the bedrock that the house is actually built on. And let's give you a view of this. So from the side here we can see through, and this at the bottom is another storage room. Now this storage room has a lot of wood. Look at that. So plenty of wood for you to burn for a very, very long time. We got lots of storage in here, lots of old wood and stuff like that. Place for sawing it. We also have on this side, I hope the camera's going to pick this up, we have a water balloon. So this is a pressure balloon. It also has the water pump, and this pumps it from the well and feeds it to the house. It goes through this filter over here. So this is a nylon filter, and this is the tank that basically gives it water pressure. So when you open up the taps inside, you get instant water flowing through. Now this is a very basic system. It's pretty much what we have on our farm. It only uses one nylon filter, so a one-stage filter. But if you look at the pipe work, there's just two very simple pipes leading to the filter. It'd be very easy to put a 3, 4 or 5-stage filter on there, where you've got, carbon, nylon and all sorts of different things, even UV. And you could have a full-on water treatment plant. They don't cost very much money these days, and it would be very simple to plumb that straight in here. But having said that, Gina and I have a simple system like this, and we use it in our house with no problems. And let's go back around. So we've got this old building over here. Look at this. I think this was like an old animal building or something like that. It's obviously too small to be for habitation. It would have had a little basic roof on, But it's quite sweet, and it's nice to have little features like this. Maybe you could keep some little animals in here. I think it's a little pigsty. And now we're going to walk back up around this side of the property, because there's another little building over here which I'm going to show you. This was, back in the days, this was like the old toilet. Now it actually still does have a toilet in there, but it has potential use for other things. I mean, it's quite a cute little brick building. Maybe it could even be made into a little sauna or something like that. But let's have a look inside anyway, just so you can see. And we can see this was the old sanitary ware from the bathroom, which they've replaced. And this is the old toilet. And there's just a little window in here. So maybe this could be a little interesting room to renovate into something. Right, so we've pretty much done the main house, the main 3-bedroom house. And now I think we're going to move on to, well, the land and the other house. So come along with me and check it out. But wow, just look at this. Look at these beautiful granite stones. That is something. Hey, look at the beams of light coming through. This is so pretty. Wow. So this is like, the house is here and there's almost like a path or a track that goes around. So they've got a track going around. This leads up to the driveway from where we came in. So you can actually drive through, park the cars there, but then you can also bring them around, and you can also go from here down into the bottom fields. We're about 1 month away from summer, so you know, imagine what this place would have looked like in spring. We still actually do have some of these beautiful flowers all about, and things are still looking very green and everything's still very wet. But yeah, I can tell that summer is going to be absolutely stunning this year. This little track leads from the front driveway to the car parking area of the house and all the way down into the fields in front of the house. And well, they had this all beautifully trimmed and everything, and then the weather got really bad, so I couldn't come and film. So they've come again and they've obviously cut everything back, but it was just done yesterday, so it is a little bit raw, but it's still beautiful. Look at all these oaks, tons of oaks, and we have stone oaks all over the place, and it's just looking absolutely magnificent. There are some epic views stretching all the way up into the mountains and the hills and stuff above here. It's really incredible. Once we get down there, there's amazing views of the Serra da Estrela, and we'll get there soon. And from here we can just catch a glimpse of the second house, so we've got quite a long way to travel before we get to it. So I'm going to pop up a map on the screen and show you exactly where we are right now and where the second house is in comparison to where the first house is. Now this property has 4 wells in total. This house has 2 wells in close proximity to it, and we're going to go to the second well, which is just in front here behind those trees. All of these wells are absolutely full of water. We're just about to go into summer. There's definitely not going to be an issue with water or your wells running dry in this place. Look at this. Very straight granite stone slabs. We've got 2 water tank sections. We've got a little bit of a dropped section on the side there, which potentially is where you would scrub laundry, I'm not sure. And obviously a really nice big granite tank. Now you'd probably fill this up with water back in the days, and they probably had all the vegetables and stuff growing on this side. And if you look, it's not too far away from the house over there. You've got a nice little terrace down here. Put all of your veggies in here, gravity feed them from this lovely well tank here. And then this is the well. Look at this. Beautiful big wheel. So this is a hand wheel, so you would do this by hand. This would have a gear here like so, and another one back in the water. There would be chains with buckets, and those would come up and bring the water up, and there would probably have been a pipe connecting to this piece here, this bucket, a pipe that runs into here and fills it up with water. And while we're up here, let's just have a look inside this tank. It's actually quite difficult to see now. Earlier when I was here, there was like a beam of light in there, but the water is very high up. Maybe we can see it better from, oh, there we go. Look on this side. It's just absolutely beautiful. The water is crystal clear, and it's really, really deep in there. So what do you think so far? This is a really stunning bit of land. I love these old features, and just look at that impressive house. So a lot of the property is actually walled. We have these beautiful old granite stone walls that are encircling us here and kind of giving the shape of the property so we can see. Now, obviously some of the walls have fallen down in parts, but there's a mixture of walls and fences. And we're surrounded by a lot of really nice trees. We've got some mature trees, obviously the really big ones in the driveway, but we also have a lot of smaller trees popping up all over the place. Lots of these little stone oaks, loads and loads of oak trees all over the place. And from where we're standing on the map, if we just look around us here, we can see it's just completely open. and we're not overlooked, completely private, and just absolutely stunning. Now I know I keep saying the word stunning, but honestly I am quite stunned. The sellers have made a track that runs from the house all the way down and through here, and this takes you onto other areas of the property. It takes us down towards the other house, and we can see on the side here we've got some of the old stone granite walls here, and again just lots and lots of these beautiful oak trees. Now this land is split up into various parcels, and the owner of the property, or the seller, they own all of them. It's one seller on the deeds. It's not a complicated sale. They have all of the documentation, all of the buildings are registered, they all have habitation. It's all ready to go. And the first bit that we've just looked at now, with the main house in the background there, this is sitting on around 3.8 hectares. And now we're about to walk through into another bit of land. And this piece of land, which I'm going to show you up on the map now, connects the two properties together and is really quite pretty. And I just love the sounds of the crickets. So nice. Look at these granite stones around us, all these lovely little flowers. So if we follow this little strip of land, it takes us to the other house, which is just in that direction over there. On the side here we can see a little village called Vila Suero do Chão, and it's just on that side over there. And that village actually connects with this house, so this house has its own separate entrance connecting to that. And on my map, this little strip looks like a small piece of land, but it's quite wide. It's quite wide and it's really pretty. All of the surrounding land around us here, this is not land that people could ever build on. So even though other people do own this piece of land here, they're using it for sheep. There's no traffic, there's no noise. I mean, it is just super peaceful out here. And here's a view just back up the track from where we've just walked down, looking back up at the house. So yesterday they came down here with a tractor with a flail mower on it, or a bush hog, and they basically cut this little track going through here. This is normally a track going through here, but obviously in spring the grass grows really tall. Look at these beautiful little flowers that we have. Lots of ferns and lots of little flowers popping up all over the place. You can see these are really quite nice fertile fields. Perfect for grazing sheep and for doing goats, perfect for horses. I mean, you've got some really nice trails and you could ride your horses from one side to another. I think a property like this will be really good for someone with a large extended family, maybe perhaps someone who wants to have the main house for them and their family, but also has their parents or their grandparents or something, and they could be living on another side of the property. People aren't completely on top of each other, they've got their own space, but they're also safe in their own little family unit. So as I come around here, I always look out for areas like this. We can see it's incredibly green over here, and we have some water. And we also have this type of grass over here, and I forget what the name of that type of grass is, but this only grows where there's water all year round. So this is an amazing spot here. There's going to be like a little spring or something underneath the ground, and you could come here and you could actually dig with a digger and it would fill itself up with water. And speaking of water, obviously there's 4 wells, but there's also 2 springs on the property, and those springs have got enormous potential for turning into 2 beautiful ponds. So we've just walked from this point all the way down. The house is just back in that direction, just over there. And we've come back and we've come around. Look at all these beautiful ferns. Look how green the grass is here, because we've got lots of water, because just over here is a stream. And actually just before we get there, look, this is the second house. So we've got a beautiful walk between the 2 properties, between the 2 houses. And then, I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but listen to this running water. Let's start on this side here. We've got a lovely little waterfall and a little stream. That is so gorgeous. So nice flowing water. Now obviously we've had a very wet winter. We've had a very wet spring. So this is flowing really well right now. Now the owners, or the sellers, sorry, they've said that they believe that this does run all year round, but obviously it doesn't run as much as it does now. There is possibility that on a drought year, a severe drought year, that this might not run, but for the most part, you should be able to come down here and enjoy this little stream all year round. Now there is this little footpath over here, and but you can't get a car, you can't get a tractor across there. So the owners have said that they'd be happy to put some concrete slabs across here so that you can drive cars and you can drive tractors and things. So if that's something you are interested in and you did want to buy this, that's something that they would be able to sort out for you. I just love the sound of water. It's so cooling, especially on a hot day like this. Now what we're looking at in front of us, this is another well, and we can see just how big this is. Look at the size from the outside. And then if we climb up on top here, it's got a little opening, but obviously the actual well is like much bigger. And let's just have a look down here. Now earlier when I looked at it, the sun was vertically above me, so we could see deep into the water. Unfortunately, I don't know if you're going to be able to see into there very well, but it's crystal clear. It really does look like great quality water. This is well number 3, and if we look back up to the house over there, we've got well number 4. So this is a very special area with this little stream. I'm standing on top of the well, and the river runs all along this border here, so you do actually border with this river. So I'm calling it a river, it's actually a stream, but it runs all the way through here. I think we should walk down here a little bit before we get to the house, and I'll show you a lovely little spot down here. So yesterday they cut all of this, so we've got a nice perimeter going all the way around. You can see how much they were able to cut with the tractor in one day. So obviously to come through here and cut, you know, all of this grass back isn't a big deal. You can obviously pay people to do that. You can get your own tractor. You could also get your own sheep. There is a building that you might be able to see just over there. That's actually a big barn, and that has sheep in it. So the sellers were telling me that they had an arrangement with the neighbors to bring their sheep on the land, which is something that I do back on my farm. It really cuts down on a lot of the maintenance and work that you have to do. And it's really nice to hear the tinkling bells of those little sheep while they're munching away on your grass in the fields. I mean, how nice would that be, just to have a little flock of lambs and sheep coming through here, and then you don't have to worry about cutting the grass so much. We've walked from where the little bridge was on that side, the little footbridge, all the way through this path here. I don't know if you can hear, but we've got the stream that's running all through here. So I'm just looking for a place where I can show you the water a little bit better, because there's going to be some lovely little spots if you were to come and cut the bushes back, where you could come down here in the summertime and have your own little stream, a little spot to cool off in. There, that looks like a nice little path. Can you see the water? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, yeah. And this just winds its way through the woods here. I just stopped here so you can have another look at the house, or the second house. How nice does that look? Look at the little hill behind it. Wait till you see the views once we're up at that house. Actually, I think we're going to be able to get a better view of the stream from here. Yeah, look at that. So this is a lovely little river beach area. Imagine you could come and put some chairs down here, sit down here next to this running water, read a book, sit in the shade in the hot summer months. Awesome. So we're just walking up to the house. We're going to stop off at this little spring on the side here. I'm going to show you on a map exactly where that spring is. It's actually quite easy to tell where the spring is because everything's so green and lush, and you get this water plant. I just have to be careful here because it's quite a drop, but there is water down there. I can see the sort of shine of water, so nice and full of water, and this is all spilling out and into this really green field. And you can see the difference in color between all of this green here, where the water is just flowing, and the other bits of the field. And then the other spring is just on that side. So I think you could get a digger and you could basically dig yourself a lovely pond over here, and you don't need a filter because you've got fresh water just flowing through 365 days a year. So it's basically just going to be doing continuous water changes, and you're going to have a lovely pond area here, potentially a little natural swimming pool or something like that. So from here we can see house number 1, and we walked all the way through here, and we've gone around this field, we've come all the way to this space. We got this enormous field, 5.4 hectares of space. And then we've got house number 2, which is just over here, which we're going to go and have a look at. And how we're going to start is up in this corner over here where the entrance to the property is. And I'll pop up a map on the screen right now so you can see exactly where that is. So we're standing near the entrance. This is building number 2. And just look at these views. Now this is the Serra da Estrela, which is the tallest mountain in mainland Europe. We're seeing some parts of it here. It's just beautiful. I mean, this has arguably got the best views. Then we've got house number 1 just down there. And we can see this is part of the tallest part of the Serra da Estrela that stretches back. It's all a big nature reserve. And then if we look on this side over here, we have an entrance. So this is this used to be the entrance of the property, but the sellers bought this field as well. So this is a further 6,000 square meters. So we've got this nice space over here. If we look at it, it actually goes a little bit up the hill and back and around. So nice, another little space. I mean, this could be, I say little, it's a big space. This could be perfect again for horses, you know. You could build stables here, you could have the horses. And just in front, just over there, this is where they've actually brought electricity all the way to the property. So from the village, which is just in the background there, there's a road that connects to that village. They've actually done all of the work and expense of bringing electricity right to the front of the property. Now obviously the new owners can decide whether or not they want to take that electricity over the ground and have wires in the air, which I wouldn't recommend, or if they're going to dig underneath the ground and connect that up with house number 2 just in the background. So before we walk to the house, I just want to show you the direction of south. It's in that direction over there. North is directly behind us. West is on this side, so the sun's going to set over here. And east is in this direction. So you're going to get sunrise coming from this side and setting behind you, which is quite nice for both of these houses. It also means that there's excellent solar potential if you wanted to do solar electricity for off-grid living. This over here is an old Portuguese bread oven, and just look how cool that is. This is a real old original one, absolutely massive, made out of granite stones. It's got a big dome roof on it, so let's just poke our noses in here. Obviously this is a very old thing, but just have a look inside here and just imagine all of the bread and all of the stuff that was made in here years and years and years ago, when there was families and things living and working this land. All right, let's make our way. Building number 2. I think it's been worth the wait because we've seen some epic land. But here we go. Look at these giant stone walls. Beautiful, huge granite stones. Now imagine all of this pointed up. Again, all of these are registered. These are registered pre-1951. They have habitation exemption. The entire lot, all of this floor space. So a really large amount. And not only that, but they can all be built up 2 floors. So you can turn these into some really impressive flats. Potentially you could turn these into separate, like little Airbnb holiday flats or something like that. So obviously the big house here, you could have that just as a house, and you could have these as barns or as stables. So I'm sure people in the comments are going to tell me exactly what they would use this for. I mean, I think as holiday lets, it could be amazing, because remember, right in front here in this big open field, we've got those 2 water springs that could be turned into big ponds, and those ponds will have fresh water going through. This could be a little Airbnb experience. Or you could keep it all to yourself and your loved ones. Now look at this beautiful stonework around the doorway. I love the granite stones that they have in this area of Central Portugal. Some places use schist. I prefer these big granite slabs. And look at this epic space. Now I believe this was probably some kind of animal building, and you know, it's nice and big. It's got a lot of roof height that could have a mezzanine space, but also, as I said earlier, you can actually build this up to match the main house, so you could actually go 2 floors up. And standing in the back wall, looking back, and wow, I've just caught a glimpse of those views. Watch what happens when you walk out the front doors here and you catch the beautiful Estrela Mountains. So that's room number 1. Room number 2 is here. And again, lovely granite work. Just look at that. This is a mirror image of the one that we just came from. You can see a nice big floor space and really tall ceilings that can be made double the height. Pretty much a mirror image. And again, the exact same view. And then we make our way around. We've got yet another one here. This one actually has a roof on it. So this has some terracotta tiles. It's in fairly good condition. And let's open up this door here and have a look inside. So wow, this is a lot bigger. Look, we've got some really nice features on the wall here, like little shelves, stone shelves. We've got what looks like soot going up the wall, so it looks like a shepherd has come in here before and made a fire in the corner to keep himself warm. And just spin the camera around this way. We've got another one of these, sort of like little shelf space, almost like a little window, but it's all made in stone. And standing in the corner here, looking back, we can see it's a nice big space. Again, look, the roof is new. And if we go through, oh yeah, look, we can see all the sheep droppings on the ground. So this is where they were storing their sheep. Probably a neighbor or something was storing sheep in here. Through here we've got the downstairs of the main house. So what they'll have here is downstairs they would have kept animals back in the days, and those animals would have basically made heat that rises and goes into the house. So another nice space that can be converted. Sorry, it's a bit dark in here. I never opened up the doorway. Let's do that now. And we can see out into the views, and then let me spin you around and show you what the space looks like. So a really nice big space. This is the floor print of the main house upstairs, and this over here is the support for the kitchen fireplace. And as we walk out of this room, we can see there's some stairs, so some granite stairs that are leading up to the upstairs main part of the house itself, and here's what it looks like from the outside. Right, let's go and have a look. So obviously this is not all done. Someone needs to come and renovate this, but it's a really nice drawing board with some beautiful stonework. And we've got a big basic door. Let's push this open here, and we can see we've got some old wooden floors. I can actually walk on the floors through here, but it starts to get a bit dodgy in some of the other rooms. And we've got some tall ceilings in an attic. So let me just walk through here. We can see this is like the old kitchen area, old fireplace. Let me just walk across these beams here so I don't fall through. And this is a nice stone lintel area. And then let me just spin you around and show you the stairs that goes up to the attic and more storage space. Okay, so let's go through a little bit further. Obviously you have to use your imaginations here because this house has not been renovated, but you know, this has a lot of potential. So this is one of 3 rooms. Quite a nice big space. I don't really want to walk on this floor just in case. But let me just put the camera in here. You can see we've got the windows leading out, you know, and again from like the front door leading out onto beautiful views. And hope you're not getting dizzy. Spin you around again. I don't want to step on this. Let's step on this. And now we can see we have another room. So this is room number 2. Some windows leading out to some cool views. And then just behind us here we have room number 3, which is a bit smaller than the other rooms. And unfortunately my camera is not picking it up very well. But believe me, there is another room there. And then next to room number 3, well, just over here between room number 2 and room number 3, there's a storage room. So we got a bit of a storage space through there with a hole in the floor. I'm not sure what that's for. I mean, this has a lot of potential here. What do you think? And then from this lovely little landing area, which obviously needs rails, but let's just stand up here and just have a view out over the land. I mean, you could own this. You could own all of this space here. There's no one overlooking you. You're completely private, completely silent. Well, unless you mind tweeting birds and frogs and things like that. Lovely. Right, so let me just walk down the stairs, close these doors up, and we'll go on to the next thing and say goodbye to this downstairs area here and the sheep building. So down the stairs we have a little storage area over here, which is probably somewhere that they would put wood or pine cones or chickens or whatever it is. And if we go across in this direction, we have well number 4. Well. Again, this one seems to have a water tank. Although it looks like there might be a piece of, okay, yeah, so there's a piece of the water tank, a piece of the slab has fallen down, so that obviously needs to be put back up again. But you do have another water tank on the edge of a very, very big well. Look at this. You can see the circumference here. And again, this one has some machinery on here to get the water up. This one's actually slightly different. So it does have the wheel that'll have buckets, but look at how it was turned. So on the top here, this metal thing would have had a pole going through, and they would have put a donkey or an ox, and the donkey or ox would have walked around and around and around in a circle, turning this, and the water would have come out into, well, probably into this tank. So if you were to turn this house into a livable house, a livable space, and you want to have fresh water in there, fresh running water, like most normal people, you could either put an electric pump inside there and get water, or there's also the potential of drilling a borehole. And obviously with a borehole that goes through rock and into an aquifer, the quality of that water is going to be really good. But that's not to say that you can't use well water and that you can't put some nice filtration systems on there. And obviously in terms of electricity, we've got the electricity pylons just there. They're around 50 to 70 meters away from the house. You can either dig them underground, put them over land, and then there's potential for all of this solar exposure on this big open plain just over here between the two houses. And just look, there's house number 2, or house number 1, sorry. So while I've been filming this video, a courier driver has phoned to say that he delivered my Starlink internet, which I'm quite excited about. Now that's something that would obviously work really well on a property like this, because you know, you've got these big open spaces, nice big clear skies, and you can get internet speeds of around 300 megabits per second. So we just walked down from the house, and where all of these ferns are just in front of us is where the other spring is. Now I've been told that it's so overgrown just over here that I'm not going to be able to see the actual spring. It needs to be cut away, but if you see the color in the grass, you can see how the spring is spreading out where all the ferns are and everything. There's fresh running water coming straight through here and into this field, and it's all year round. So you're going to have lovely grass here for your horses or for your sheep, and you also have the potential to dig a beautiful pond right next to your house. So guys, it brings us to the end of the tour. There's only a couple more things to say. One of them is that this is going to be the most fantastic place for an equestrian property, for an agricultural property where you want to grow things, for a livestock property where you have animals, for a tourism project where you can set up all those other little buildings over there and build a pond. This is also a place where someone like me would like to own it so that they could just have no neighbors and just live in privacy and peace and quiet and enjoy life. You could live off-grid, you could live on-grid, you can grow your own food. There's so much potential. Now again, I'm not the seller, I'm not an estate agent. I only make videos like this for buyers or sellers. If you want to buy this place, have a look in the video description below for the seller's contact details and send them a message or a WhatsApp. And also please let us know in the comments below what you think of this place. And yeah, I have a feeling that people are going to love this place just as much as I do. And we'll see you in the next one. All the best. Ciao.